Right ahead.
Hello, Angus Hornhelm here, and I have another interview for you today, although I guess he didn't make it. So perhaps we'll do something else.
Ta-da!
Where did you come from?
I come from another plane and dimension. I am the devil. I mean the D&D devil. I'm not involved with that other stuff.
Is this my interview? Stubble!
He doesn't listen very well, does he? I'm your interview. If you're really good, you'll come out of it alive. Harumph.
All right. I guess what we're doing today is interviewing a sinister, evil fiend from the dimensions of hell. I guess it's not too much worse than when I used to get up and ask my wife how she was every morning.
Oh. Reasons why not to get married, apparently.
Well,
I just pick on people and do stuff in dungeons and make life difficult for everyone around me, and it's part of the fun of being the devil. And look, I dressed up really nice today. I got myself a beard, try and blend in with you dwarvish types, and do all that kind of good stuff.
well, okay. Well, I guess as this is our interview, we'll go ahead and make the best of it. So tell me, how did you find your way into our dimension, our place of existence?
Well, it took a little bit of finagling to get here to where the Dwarven Tool Show is being held because they wanted me to come by and speak to them. And turns out they were pretty annoying, so I ate them.
Oh. Did you give anybody a contract so that their tools sell more than others?
It wasn't worth it. They didn't have enough to offer on that side. I was very disappointed, so I didn't give out any contracts. I like giving out contracts and making deals with people. I mean, that's, in all my life, I make deals. I'm really good at making deals, and I'm really good at helping people. I like to help people.
Help yourself, maybe. All right, so we're going to go ahead and interview this fine specimen of a demon, devil, beast, whatever you are. So I'm sure we've all ran across these creatures in various dungeons and mazes and fantasy adventures, books. They're out there in various forms, and none of them are all that good, are they? Maybe this guy will set us straight and he'll be okay.
Well, I told you already, I like to help people. They just don't understand how I help them sometimes, and a lot of times they ask for help, but they don't really understand what they're asking for, and then they get upset when I give it to them. I don't understand that, they'll ask to be freed from something, so I do. The fact that they're a mile underwater or in the middle of a volcano, that's not my problem. I got them out. I did what I said I would do.
That is a very good point. For all you adventurers out there, new, old, whatever, in whatever game you're doing, any time that you're allowed to make a wish, be awfully careful about what you wish for. Be careful how you word it, but don't overdo it and wish for too much, because that usually makes the gentleman running the game decide to screw you even worse.
Well, they say that the devil is in the details. It's true.
Yes,
It's true. I love wishes. They're the most wonderful thing to pervert and change and take so literally that people don't understand what can happen to them. That's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. That's one of my favorite things as a devil.
Devil DMs, they're all kind of the evil things that do these things to us, aren't they? All right. We, on this channel, like to have our viewers send in their great accomplishments and perhaps their worst moment as a player as well. We call it great deeds and horrible moments.
Okay.
If we were to ask you in one of your, fiendish attempts to destroy or do something to some poor, helpless character, unless it's an elf, then go ahead and stick it to him.
Me?
What is your greatest feat?
Oh, it usually involves something that was unexpected by the people I'm dealing with at that time. So one of my favorites, I don't know if it's my greatest, but one of my favorites is I was asked to free a bunch of people who were trapped inside of a deep underground dungeon in a stinking pit filled with nasty beasties, and they managed to reach me. One of the characters actually, well, he worshipped me. So I don't know what that was about, but still, he managed to reach me, and I said, absolutely, I will get you out of this. And I did. I made sure they were out of that pit. I think that's a pretty great thing right there. I saved all these people.
Saved
And
them?
then, yes, and then the idiots went and died right away. I don't understand what the hell that's about, so.
When they left this pit, where did they go?
Well, up, out of the pit.
I think there's something to the story that we don't know.
I took them 100% out of the pit, as I agreed, in payment for that one worshipper's soul.
Which I assume you collected right away, since his demise
Well,
soon
no, I had to wait till he
followed.
died. I got them up all the way up out of the pit. And then I let go.
I'm beginning to realize that perhaps their wishes came down to earth rather rapidly.
Well, if you asked me to do something, I try very hard to do exactly what you asked me for. Next time, be more careful what you ask for.
Now that is another lesson for you adventurers. Typically, well, not typically, but at times, you run across some sort of a fiend or demigod, and they're always offering you riches, rewards, and greatness, perhaps even going to bestow an item upon you like a ring or an axe or a sword. But there's always going to be a price. Always.
That's not really true. Well, okay, maybe it is true. There's always a price, whatever you do in life. What I would recommend to people is think very carefully. Say what you mean what you say. If you don't get that part right, well, it's boring where I'm at. I've been there for 1,000,000 years. I'm going to be there for several million more. So when I get a chance to have fun, I'm sorry, I have fun.
So today's interview is bringing you insight and knowledge of how to handle these moments while you are adventuring and trying to gather treasure and level your characters. You see, this is important knowledge for you, the characters. So, what was your biggest or greatest slip-up? Perhaps something where you planned to get it over on someone, but they turned the tables?
Yeah, it happened to me once. I wasn't very happy about it. I got into a battle, and with some
Fireballs and lightning and great charges and battle horns and dwarfs with shields and hammers?
No, it was a fiddle.
What?
It was a fiddle. There was this toothless kid. He said he was a better fiddle player than I was, and I got into a battle with him, and I promised him that I'd give him a fiddle of gold. A fiddle of gold if he bested me.
You were great.
I was going to
battle.
get his soul, of course, but I did this, and that little bugger, he was better than me. It was a huge failure. I was hugely embarrassed. I had to go back and give his family bad diseases and give his girlfriend a disease that would make his ding-dong fall off. And it was the only way I could get back at him. So I got my own back, and eventually when he died, I went and got back my fiddle. But I was hugely embarrassed on a global stage, and I just never hear the end of that whole fiddle thing down in Georgia. It just pisses me off to no end. That was my biggest failure.
So your great battle was playing a musical instrument, and you lost.
I don't like how you're saying this.
Are you sure that you're a full-blooded devil demon
I definitely
creature?
don't like how you're saying this. How many fans do you have?
I'm sure most of you out there love the beard on the street and Angus.
Okay. How much are you folks going to miss him? That's pretty quiet. I don't think they're going to miss you.
Well, let's move on to our next question here, shall we? What is perhaps the most clever, if you're clever, item that you gave somebody which made them think they had just gained the magical item of a lifetime, that they'll be slaying their enemies, taking over a kingdom, and grabbing the most beautiful woman for themselves, but turned out to be trouble?
Well, I have maybe done this more than once. I remember a specific story. There was a character, and I was talking with the dungeon master, and this character
I
was
bet
very,
you are
very
pretty
strong.
close with dungeon masters, aren't you?
Maybe. And he was talking about how he needed to do something to make this character more visible. So I gave the character a set of armor. It was a beautiful set of armor. So beautiful that they would not take it off under any circumstances. But beauty's in the eye of the beholder, of course, so, well, that's a whole different story. We're not talking beholders now. But in this particular case, he thought it was the bee's knees. He was a dwarf.
What?
He was a dwarf, and whenever he donned this armor, everywhere he went, he made the biggest noise and racket. You could hear him half a mile away. But to him, it made no noise whatsoever, and he would not believe anyone who told him otherwise. And of course, what happened is when they went to the dungeon, it was like ringing a dinner bell. You would get the dinner bell rung when this guy started walking across the floor. Caused them some problems. They didn't end up dying from it or anything else, but it annoyed the living hell out of everybody in the party. And eventually, the curse was removed. So it wasn't permanent, but it was a lot of fun. And every week I got to watch them play and laugh.
Why couldn't you have done this to an elf? I couldn't think of a more deserving creature, except perhaps maybe an orc.
Well, okay. From a dwarf standpoint, that's not so nice. And I do things to elves too. I am a equal opportunity tormentor. Well, wasn't that something different? How many times do you get to meet the devil and live to tell the tale? So, that was part 1 of Angus, our beard on the street, and his interview with the devil. Let's see if he's smart enough to make it through part 2 without having something evil and nefarious happen to him. See you soon, folks. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share, do all that fun stuff, and we'll see you with part 2 very soon. Thanks, everyone. Take care, and remember, dwarves rock.